Ladies and gentlemen, let me start by saying that life will demand a version of you that is stronger than what you are today. Stop being soft to everyone. Stop bending, breaking, and bleeding for people who would not offer you a bandage in return. Boundaries define strength because they serve as the framework within which we protect our energy, focus, and purpose. They are not signs of weakness, but demonstrations of self-awareness and respect. When we establish boundaries, we make a deliberate statement about what we value and what we refuse to tolerate. Boundaries are not about pushing people away. They are about prioritizing what matters most and ensuring that we do not compromise our well-being in the process. Setting boundaries requires courage because it often means confronting uncomfortable truths about ourselves and others. It's about recognizing that not everyone has your best interests at heart, even those who claim to care. Boundaries force us to take inventory of our relationships and ask hard questions. Who is adding value to my life? Who is draining my energy? Where am I overextending myself for the sake of approval or acceptance? These are not easy questions, but they are necessary if we are to live authentically and with purpose. When you lack boundaries, you open yourself up to being pulled in every direction, allowing others to dictate your time, your energy, and even your identity. People without boundaries often find themselves overwhelmed, resentful, and disconnected from their true selves. They give so much of themselves away that there is little left to nurture their own dreams and aspirations. It is not an act of selfishness to protect your peace. It is an act of survival and self-preservation. Boundaries are not just about saying no to others, they are also about saying yes to yourself. They are a declaration of your worth and a commitment to honoring your goals and values. Boundaries give you the strength to focus on what truly matters, filtering out distractions and negativity that hinder your progress. They allow you to stand firm in the face of pressure and manipulation, refusing to compromise on what is essential to your growth and fulfillment. In life, people will test your boundaries repeatedly, often without malice, but simply because they do not understand your limits. It is not their responsibility to respect boundaries you have not clearly communicated. Well, that responsibility falls on you. Boundaries are not established through passive expectations. They are built through clear, firm, and consistent action. They are reinforced every time you hold yourself accountable and demand that others do the same. When you set boundaries, you are not just protecting yourself, you are teaching others how to treat you. You are showing them that your time and energy are valuable and that you will not allow them to be wasted or exploited. This act of self-respect often inspires others to reflect on their own behavior and choices. It sets a standard, a precedent that encourages mutual respect and understanding in every interaction. Boundaries also help you distinguish between what is within your control and what is not. They allow you to focus your energy on what you can change while letting go of what you cannot. This clarity is a source of immense strength, as it prevents you from being consumed by the chaos and demands of the world around you. Boundaries are a shield, not a wall. They protect without isolating, empower without alienating, and strengthen without hardening your heart. Self-respect is non-negotiable because it is the foundation upon which every other aspect of your life is built. It is the internal compass that guides your decisions, shapes your relationships, and defines the way you allow yourself to be treated. Without self-respect, you become vulnerable to manipulation, exploitation, and a cycle of compromises that erode your sense of self-worth. Self-respect is not arrogance or selfishness. It is a deep and unshakable acknowledgement of your value as a person. When you respect yourself, you set a standard for how others must treat you. It communicates to the world that you will not tolerate disrespect, dishonesty, or neglect. People often treat you the way you allow them to. When self-respect is lacking, it opens the door for others to disregard your feelings, opinions, and needs. Self-respect is the boundary that ensures you are treated with dignity and fairness, not because you demand it from others, but because you first demand it from yourself. Self-respect requires accountability. It means holding yourself to a high standard in your actions, words, and decisions. It's about living in alignment with your values and refusing to compromise on what you believe in. When you have self-respect, you do not settle for less than you deserve. Whether it's in your career, relationships, or personal endeavors, you recognize that settling is a betrayal of your potential and your purpose. Respecting yourself also means prioritizing your well-being. It means saying no to people in situations that drain you or lead you away from your goals. It means making choices that align with your long-term happiness rather than short-term gratification. Self-respect is about understanding that your time, energy, and emotional capacity are finite resources that must be invested wisely. When you spread yourself too thin to accommodate others, you deplete the very strength you need to thrive. Self-respect requires self-awareness. It means knowing who you are, what you want, and what you stand for. It demands that you confront your flaws without being consumed by them, acknowledging your strengths without becoming arrogant, and continually striving to grow into the best version of yourself. Self-respect is not static. It is a dynamic force that evolves as you do, becoming stronger with each challenge you overcome and each boundary you enforce. To have self-respect is to have the courage to walk away from what no longer serves you. It's about recognizing when you are undervalued or mistreated and refusing to stay in situations that do not honor your worth. This might mean leaving a toxic relationship, declining an unfair opportunity, or distancing yourself from negative influences. These decisions are never easy, but they are necessary acts of self-respect that pave the way for a life that aligns with your true value. Self-respect also influences the way you handle adversity. When you respect yourself, you refuse to be defined by your failures or setbacks. Instead, you see them as opportunities to learn and grow. You do not allow the opinions of others to dictate your self-worth, nor do you rely on external validation to feel good about yourself. Self-respect is an internal force, independent of the judgments or expectations of others. When self-respect is non-negotiable, you approach life with a sense of purpose and clarity. You make decisions not out of fear or insecurity, but out of confidence in your own judgment. You recognize that respecting yourself is not just a personal choice, it is a responsibility. It is the anchor that keeps you grounded in a world that often tries to pull you in conflicting directions. Growth demands discipline because transformation is not a product of convenience. It is the result of consistent effort, deliberate choices, and a willingness to endure discomfort for the sake of progress. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be, and without it, growth remains an abstract idea rather than a tangible reality. Discipline is not a single act, it is a way of life, a commitment to doing what is necessary even when it is not easy, exciting, or immediately rewarding. To grow in any area of life, be it personal, professional, emotional, or spiritual, requires structure and intentionality. It means creating habits and routines that support your goals and sticking to them, even when the initial motivation fades. Growth is not about grand gestures, it is about the small, consistent actions that accumulate over time. Discipline turns these actions into habits and habits into results. It is the daily decision to prioritize long-term success over short-term comfort. But discipline also demands sacrifice. It often requires giving up something you want now for something greater you want later. It might mean waking up early to work on your dreams, saying no to distractions that do not serve your purpose, or enduring criticism and setbacks without losing focus. Growth requires you to let go of what is familiar and comfortable, and discipline is the tool that helps you navigate this challenging process. It forces you to confront your weaknesses and transform them into strengths. Growth through discipline is not just about doing more, it is about doing what matters. It requires clarity about your goals and the steps needed to achieve them. Discipline involves prioritizing your time and energy, cutting out unnecessary tasks, and staying laser focused on what will move you closer to your objectives. It means resisting the urge to procrastinate, overcommit, or scatter your efforts. Discipline is the constant reminder that every choice you make either brings you closer to or further from your growth. Discipline also plays a crucial role in building resilience. Growth is never a straight path. It is filled with obstacles, failures, and moments of doubt. Without discipline, it is easy to give up when the road becomes difficult. Discipline teaches you to push through resistance, to show up even when you don't feel like it, and to keep moving forward when progress feels slow or invisible. It is the quiet strength that keeps you grounded and focused even in the face of adversity. Growth demands self-discipline because no one else can do the work for you. You are responsible for your actions, your mindset, and your commitment to your goals. Discipline is not about perfection, it is about persistence. It means holding yourself accountable even when no one is watching. It means staying true to your values and principles even when external pressures try to sway you. Discipline is the inner voice that tells you to keep going, to do one more rep, to take one more step, to write one more page, because growth is found in the effort, not the excuses. Discipline is not just about controlling your actions, it is about mastering your mind. Growth often begins in the thoughts you entertain and the beliefs you hold about yourself. Discipline requires you to guard your mindset, to reject limiting beliefs, and to replace them with empowering ones. It means silencing the inner critic and choosing to focus on possibilities instead of obstacles. It is about training your mind to see challenges as opportunities and failures as lessons. True growth also requires the discipline of patience. Change does not happen overnight, and the most meaningful progress is often the slowest. Discipline teaches you to trust the process, to stay committed even when results are not immediate, and to celebrate incremental improvements. So it reminds you that growth is not a destination but a journey, and every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory worth acknowledging. In its essence, discipline is the foundation of freedom. It frees you from the constraints of inconsistency, doubt, and regret. It empowers you to take control of your life, to make decisions with intention, and to build a future that aligns with your dreams and values. Growth is not accidental, it is intentional, and discipline is the fuel that keeps that intention alive. Empowerment through tough love is about fostering growth and strength in ourselves and others by embracing honesty, accountability, and the willingness to make difficult decisions. It is not about cruelty or unnecessary harshness, but about recognizing that true growth often requires facing hard truths and enduring temporary discomfort for long-term benefit. Tough love is a profound expression of care because it prioritizes what is right over what is easy, comfortable, or immediately gratifying. It is the decision to act in a way that builds resilience and character, even when it may be misunderstood or resisted. Tough love begins with accountability. It involves holding yourself and others responsible for their actions, decisions, and outcomes. It is not about blaming or shaming, but about acknowledging the power and responsibility we have over our lives. When we practice tough love, we refuse to enable behaviors that lead to stagnation, self-sabotage, or harm. Instead, we challenge ourselves and others to confront these patterns and make the changes necessary for improvement. This process is not always welcome, but it is always necessary for genuine empowerment. Empowerment through tough love also requires the courage to have uncomfortable conversations. It means being willing to speak the truth even when it is difficult or risk conflict. These conversations are not meant to tear someone down, but to illuminate blind spots and provide clarity. Tough love pushes beyond surface level niceties to address the root of an issue, offering constructive criticism and guidance that pave the way for growth. It is the kind of honesty that cuts through complacency and motivates action. Tough love is a balancing act between compassion and firmness. It recognizes the potential within others and refuses to let that potential go unrealized. This means setting boundaries and enforcing them, not out of anger or frustration, but out of a desire to protect and nurture what is valuable. It might involve saying no to someone you care about or refusing to rescue them from the consequences of their choices. While these actions may seem harsh in the moment, they are acts of love that teach responsibility, self-reliance, and resilience. Empowerment through tough love is also about teaching the value of effort and perseverance. It resists the temptation to provide easy answers or quick fixes, and instead encourages others to work through challenges and earn their successes. By doing so, tough love instills a sense of pride and confidence that can only come from overcoming obstacles. It teaches that growth is not handed out freely, but is earned through determination, hard work, and a willingness to learn from failure. Tough love demands emotional strength from those who give it. It is never easy to see someone you care about struggle or to risk being perceived as unsupportive. But tough love recognizes that true support is not about shielding people from pain or discomfort. It is about equipping them to handle these experiences with strength and wisdom. It requires the patience to let others find their way and the faith to believe in their ability to rise to the challenge. Empowerment through tough love is not limited to our relationships with others. It is also something we must practice with ourselves. This means refusing to settle for less than we are capable of and challenging ourselves to reach new heights. It involves self-discipline, the willingness to confront our flaws, and the determination to push through fear, doubt, and setbacks. Tough love with ourselves means making the hard choices that align with our goals, even when they are not the most convenient or comfortable options. Tough love teaches valuable life lessons that are often overlooked in a culture that prioritizes instant gratification and avoidance of discomfort. It reinforces the importance of integrity, perseverance, and personal accountability. It shows that love is not about enabling weakness, but about fostering strength. Tough love does not coddle or condescend. It empowers by demanding the best from ourselves and others. It pushes beyond limitations, offering a clear path to growth, self-discovery, and achievement. When we practice tough love, we take an active role in shaping the lives of those around us, as well as our own. It is an expression of belief in the inherent potential of every individual to grow, improve, and thrive. Tough love is a powerful tool for empowerment because it confronts the excuses, fears, and limitations that hold us back, replacing them with the courage, determination, and accountability that propel us forward. It is the kind of love that builds character, instills confidence, and creates a foundation for lasting success. Balancing softness with steel is about mastering the art of being compassionate without being compromised, kind without being taken for granted, and understanding without losing your own sense of self. It is the ability to blend strength with empathy in a way that fosters healthy relationships, personal growth, and self-respect. This balance is not an innate trait, but a skill that requires intention, practice, and self-awareness. It is about knowing when to extend grace and when to stand firm, when to bend and when to hold your ground. Softness is a powerful quality. It is the ability to connect with others, to show empathy, and to provide support. It is what allows us to build meaningful relationships and to approach the world with an open heart. However, when softness is unchecked, it can become a vulnerability. People may mistake your kindness for weakness, exploiting your willingness to accommodate and compromise. That softness without boundaries can lead to burnout, resentment, and a loss of identity as you give more of yourself than you can afford. Steel, on the other hand, represents resilience, determination, and the ability to protect what is important to you. It is the inner strength that allows you to face adversity, enforce boundaries, and pursue your goals with unwavering focus. Steel is essential for standing up for yourself, making tough decisions, and refusing to be swayed by external pressures. Yet steel alone can lead to rigidity, isolation, and a lack of connection with others. It can create walls that keep people out rather than building bridges that bring them closer. The true power lies in the ability to balance these two forces. Balancing softness with steel means recognizing that you can be kind and assertive, empathetic and unyielding, open-hearted and protective. It means understanding that strength does not negate compassion, and compassion does not weaken strength. This balance allows you to navigate life with both courage and grace, ensuring that you remain true to yourself while fostering genuine connections with others. Balancing softness with steel requires the ability to assess situations and respond appropriately. Not every challenge demands a hardline stance, and not every relationship calls for unrelenting accommodation. But it is about knowing when to listen and when to speak, when to compromise and when to hold firm. This discernment comes from a deep understanding of your values, priorities, and limits. It means being clear about what matters most to you and refusing to waver on those principles, even as you approach others with kindness and respect. This balance is particularly important in relationships where the dynamics of power, trust, and vulnerability often come into play. Being soft allows you to connect with others on a deeper level, to empathize with their struggles, and to offer support in times of need. Being steel ensures that these connections do not come at the cost of your own well-being or self-respect. It empowers you to say no when necessary, to set boundaries that protect your energy, and to hold others accountable for their actions. Balancing softness with steel also applies to the way you approach challenges and adversity. Softness allows you to adapt, to remain flexible in the face of change, and to approach problems with creativity and an open mind. Steel gives you the resilience to persevere, the determination to overcome obstacles, and the courage to stand strong in the face of uncertainty. Together, these qualities ensure that you can navigate even the most difficult situations with strength and poise. This balance is not static, it is a dynamic interplay that requires constant adjustment. There will be moments when you need to lean more heavily on your softness, offering compassion and understanding to yourself or others. There will also be times when you must call upon your inner steel, standing firm in the face of opposition or adversity. The key is to remain attuned to your instincts, your values, and the demands of the situation, allowing you to respond with both strength and sensitivity. Balancing softness with steel is ultimately about self-mastery. It is the ability to lead with your heart without losing your head, to be open to others without being overrun, and to remain steadfast in your purpose while embracing the complexities of life. It is a skill that allows you to navigate the world with confidence, compassion, and clarity, ensuring that you are neither too soft to protect yourself nor too hard to connect with those around you.